football clubs.
Manchester City have the privilege of playing at the City of Manchester Stadium, a far cry from Main Road. Did the City of Manchester fill their stadium with a big club?
Subscribe now to see how they compare with other big football clubs.
Manchester City are one of the most successful teams in terms of the total number of major trophies they've won, but are still a way off the top. Their total attendances since the beginning of the Football League illustrates that they are the 7th best supported club in England. We can compare them to other big clubs in England and see that they're not far behind the very biggest clubs and are looking to catch up. We've taken over at the top of English football. Manchester City have a reputable trophy haul domestically. 10 league titles, 7 FA Cups and 8 League Cups. They won the Cup Winners' Cup and have won the European Cup and World Club Championship. Through thick and thin, Manchester City started out with healthy crowds soon after joining the Football League, getting to the top flight average whilst still in the second division. Once they got to the first division, they were getting just over the top flight average for the remainder of the pre-war period. This peaked just before the war, and although it dipped in the final year, they had for the first time the highest average attendances in the league. Soon after the war, they moved into Main Road, and in the mid-20s they started to move away from the rest once again, despite falling into the second division. City got the highest league average when they had a strong finish back in the first division in 1929. After this, numbers started to calm down, but in 1934 they got the highest attendance in the country against Stoke in the FA Cup, a record which would not be broken until 2016. After the Second World War, attendances were still strong, but the rest of the top flight clubs had caught up with them. However, it was their relegation in 1963 which started a sharp fall to a major slump in 1965. Recovery into the first division again saw numbers rise. During their golden age, they had good attendances, but were not much higher than the top flight average. Even though City were not pulling up trees in the first division and were eventually relegated, they were comfortably above the average until the mid-80s. Attendances were not great coming into the 90s. Improved performances did result in better numbers, but they were not much higher than the average. The late 90s were a difficult time for the club as they were in the second division, but throughout this time they were managing to get the top flight average, a strong indicator of a big football club. Even more so when they were in the third division, getting crowds comparable to the top flight. Fans were continuing to back their team in their darkest days, looking to drag them back into the second division. This meant that promotion to the second division didn't cause a dramatic jump in numbers. Thanks to the building of the Olympic Stadium, Manchester City were able to move in just as their squad was progressing. Although not initially filling the stadium week to week, winning trophies has made sure they've had high average attendances since 2015, and it looks like they'll maintain this. We're the comeback kings. In 1999, City finished third place in the third division, so needed to win the playoffs to get promoted back into the second division. After 2 late goals from Gillingham, it looked like they would be there for at least another season. But it was when the clock struck 90 minutes that Manchester City woke up and came back with 2 unlikely goals. The match went to penalties, and Gillingham's poor run of spot kicks meant they were denied their debut in the second division. By 2012, City had built a squad to rival Manchester United, but Alex Ferguson thought City would never win the league in his lifetime. City only needed to defeat QPR on the last day of the season, and they went 2-1 down. Just like against Gillingham, City scored 2 stoppage time goals, and this won them their first league title in 44 years. Top players are nothing new to us. Manchester City's players have never been more successful than now, so many of their recent names get into their all-time 11. This includes top scorer Sergio Aguero. However, there are some players from back in the day who made such an impact at the time that they also get into this side. We've been winning things over our entire history. For the first 6 seasons of Manchester City's league history, they were in the second division and won that title in 1899. A series of promotions and relegations in their early years included 2 more second division title wins. In 3 of their seasons in the first division, they achieved top 3 finishes, and even the FA Cup, getting there before United had won anything serious. In this unfair world, mere allegations of financial irregularities were enough to cause significant disruption at the club, and this impeded their ability to maintain success. After the war, they were mostly a mid-table side and did not have any real consistency in the league, spending a brief stint in the second division, winning that title again. Finishes were fairly wide-ranging again, and they won their second FA Cup in 1934. Even though City were not commonly finishing around the top, they had improved by the mid-30s, and they won their first league title in 1937. But then their form slipped away dramatically, and the following season they were relegated. They are the only English side to have managed such a feat, and this has only been matched by 4 other clubs in Europe. After the Second World War, they spent most of their time in the First Division, but their finishes fluctuated significantly. Their crowning glory in this period was the FA Cup, but they would not have a major impact on the league for a while. This all changed when the club experienced its true glory years. This started in 1968, when they won the league again, and in the following years they won the League Cup, FA Cup and European Cup Winners' Cup. Main Road would never experience this kind of success again. After their glories, Manchester City would mostly be mid-table, but did have a couple of good finishes. After 1976's League Cup victory, they would not lift another trophy for decades. Moving towards the 80s, finishes continued to be mediocre. Then City would spend time between the top 2 divisions. They appear to experience a revival at the start of the 90s, but this was actually followed by a plummet all the way down to the 3rd division. They had never been this low before, and they were not even able to win promotion automatically. They needed to go through the playoffs, but once back in the 2nd division, they didn't stay long. From 2002, City have been in the Premier League. They started this period with indifferent finishes, but those are now a thing of the past as a combination of the coaching staff from Barcelona and the transfer policy of Real Madrid has hoisted the club into inevitable glory. The club have seen off contenders to win the Premier League in most seasons since 2018, and after many attempts, finally won the European Cup. This is likely to continue. Manchester City were a team who would pop up each 10 to 20 years with a trophy, and had one very successful spell in the 60s and 70s, and in recent years they've come to dominate English football. They had European glory in their golden era and finally won the European Cup in 2023. Whether they're able to dominate Europe over a period of time remains to be seen. City have always had strong support, keeping up with the average top-flight attendances even when not in the top flight. The move to their new stadium has enabled this to grow. Manchester City have not had the biggest share of great matches over history, as sustained success is new to them, but they have had some magical moments. City's best players can be taken from specific points in their history, but they have not had the players over their entire existence to rival the best 11s of English football. Manchester City are a club who have always had strong local support and significant spoils over their existence. They were identified as a good opportunity to take on Manchester United, and their current strategy has made winning things inevitable. Their recent success is going a long way to help them catch up, and if they get their way off the field, it won't be long before they're recognised as one of the country's and possibly one of the world's
big football clubs.
Will Manchester City's rivalry with United ever compete with Liverpool's?
Please comment below. Like and subscribe to Big Football Clubs to watch videos as they're released each week.